I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. These late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart.
.40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. .40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. These late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
.40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
days. Don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days. Don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can-
All right, good evening and welcome to Green White Checker TV. We are back. Area 51 Superspeedway Friday night truck series here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Switching the evenings over from Thursday nights to Friday nights to have a wonderful car count this evening. Looking to be in the mid to upper 20 drivers tonight. And I hope you're all having a wonderful evening and happy Friday. Happy Friday the 13th to kick it off. Hopefully not a bad omen, but hey, let's say it'll be a fun one here tonight. I'll be joined shortly by a Mr. Getting everything set up on his end for the beginning of the season. But yeah, hope everybody is doing well tonight. And so we're back to it here. Some similarities, some differences, but otherwise it's going to be all the same fun racing that we've seen throughout the previous seasons. The big difference of this season is it's going to be a 14 race season 10 regular season races, 4 playoff races to crown that champion. But other than that, everything's going to be the same. Say it's still going to be the top 12 in the points. No bonus points going into the playoffs, but there are going to be bonus points back in the series, though. So we're going to start to see some of that back again. So leading a lap is a bonus point. Leading the most laps as well, bonus points. So things are going to become more and more important in these races here to try to maybe be up front, try to control the race, lead some laps. That's going to always come into factor into these races. And so I'm going to double check too, because I want to make sure we're not missing any of those point schemes. Because I want to make sure we give everybody all the info that they can have and then some. And actually, I was wrong. Leading lap is 1 point. Leading the most laps is going to be 2 bonus points. So that's going to be, again, so even 1 extra point for leading the most. So again, if you can do that, that's 3 bonus points in your pocket right there. So those are going to be those things that could make the difference in making the playoffs, not making playoffs, or even winning this championship. So all the points are going to matter. And so basically the way we're going to be doing it, kick it off here at Talladega. Then we'll be jumping over to, in race number 2, over to iRacing Superspeedway, followed by Daytona. Then we'll have an off week, of course, for the 4th of July weekend. And then back, I believe, the following week at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then same thing, we'll kind of cycle around those 4 tracks. There will be 2 extra races, of course, with the 14 versus the 12 race season. 2 of those additions are going to be 1 extra Daytona, 1 extra Talladega. But the championship 4 races will once again be those 4 tracks of Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, and iRacing Superspeedway. So just got about a minute left in qualifying. And I think talking about the leading the laps, I think already I can see the importance on it, because I'm seeing a lot of qualifying laps being put in here. A lot of trucks in the on track right now getting those qualifying laps and probably shaking maybe a little bit of rust off. A very, very big iRacing build earlier this week. So there were some changes to pretty much all the vehicles, and actually all of our series as well. So the biggest one is going to be those IndyCar Dallara IR18s. A lot of changes over there. We'll be able to see what those look like in a few nights' time on Tuesday night. And of course, we'll be back here again on Sunday night and switching over from the Gen 4 Cup Series over to back to the Xfinity cars. Obviously, right now, the new 2003 cars are all the rage, but we're kind of going to start with something that is known and kind of we know what to expect from them versus a new entity might make some changes to the car over the season. Don't want to kind of have to rebuild things from the start. So, but yeah, either way, it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. And with that, I believe qualifying has just completed. Do need to mention, of course, there will be actually the other changes, 2 faster pairs as well as the 2 green light checkered. So these guys, they don't have just the 1 mulligan now. There's actually that 2nd mulligan that could come into play. So that's going to be a big one to keep an eye on as well. But now we're going to go ahead and jump over to that starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position, it is going to be the number 88, our defending champion of Gabe Butler. And you see right there, I mean, we got 3 trucks tied to the 1,000th of a second there between Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez, Tom Dixon. These guys had to go to beyond the 10 to the 1,000th of a second between those 3 drivers. So amazing qualifying by the 3 of them. Then you've got a new name, new face to the league here. I was saying hopefully I'll be able to chat and get the pronunciation right, because I feel like I'm going to botch it. I believe it's, so we'll see, but Kitty Engstrom. So we'll double check that when we have a chance to chat. Everett Lane, Cody Nagel's making an appearance back over here. Glad to have him. Adam Kildee as well. Really excited to have those guys. They'll be very competitive, of course. Jack Walls there in row number 4 in 8th. Les Levy back to the series. Glad to have Les back. Eric Laurie rounding out our top 10. Then you got a new addition to the league there. Bill Hales in the 35 truck will be 11th. Next to him, Vicente Guerrero, returning face back here as well. Glad to see Vicente. Then dropping down there, you got Gary Huffines, Bob Fitzgerald. We've seen those guys here. Todd Merkel, Jim Brooks, Justin Davis, Hayden Davis. I'll say Justin doing a little bit of recruiting. Appreciate to have them both over here now. They got Mike Allen, Dale Rapp, David Overstreet, Anthony Lane, Robert Amaral, and Frank Ranger Jr. there in 24th. And again, talk about the car counts. It's growing. You can see we're still scrolling there. You got Dean Wilkinson, Charles Johnson, and Bud Steele. Charles and Bud opting not to put down a qualifying time, but I believe Charles not racing tonight doesn't have basically doesn't have what he needs to be able to race tonight, but it's kind of here to kind of get the field started up here, new season. So appreciate him hopping on and being able to be around to get the guys all sorted as they start their warm-up lap to begin tonight's event. All right, field's coming through turns number 2. Getting that warm-up lap again underway here. And then we'll let loose here again. 75 scheduled laps. Of course, like we mentioned, there are that attempt of 2 green-white checkered, so we'll see if those come into play or not. That's always going to be the decision factor as well on pit strategy. Do you run your field to that magic lap 75, or do you need to run a little bit further? We'll have to wait and see on that one, but right now everybody's getting going. And also do need to mention as well, fuel window about 19 laps or so. So in that situation there should be, on the strategy side of things, that should be a guaranteed 3-stop race. But we'll see, of course, what these drivers are able to do. All right, here comes the field hitting that start, or hitting the trial, I should say, leading up to start finish line at the exit of the trial. We won't make the joke about the start finish line being on the at the end of this trial versus in the center like it is at Daytona. As they hit that restart zone, green flag is out, and we are underway to start season 2 2025 with the Area 51 Super Speedway Truck Series now on Friday nights, as Gabe Butler, Rick Sanchez here take the lead heading into turn number 1. So far, pretty even down the front. Gabe just a nose ahead, getting a great push from Tom Dixon. Tom is one of those drivers we've been talking about all last season just kind of perpetually getting better and better as the season's gone on. And it's one of those things. It's at this point, it's not the if, it's the when, to just put himself in that right position to be able to try to push himself to the front, get that big win here. Just still working on trying to get to that position, but right now you can see these guys still staying 2x2. Again, probably one trying to get a little bit of feel for each other, and then of course also just trying to figure out where to put themselves. But again, talk about the bonus points. Lap 1 should go to Gabe Butler. You saw Gabe there. He got his lap lead. He jumps to the top there. Tom was pretty much full focus on the rear bumper of that 88 truck. Started to drift up there with him. Was able to get back down in time before any contact. So those are those things you're going to have to watch for as you see the outside line. Starting to see some teammates here again. We know how effective these two are, and that's that 6 and the 14, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels. Expect to see a lot of teamwork between these two over the course of this season. As they come through the trial, well, this time looks like this lap will go to that 411 of Tom Dixon. Again, bringing bonus points back into the mix. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 24 and the 5 there entering turn number 1. Everybody able to recover, but again, the close quarters. It's going to just, that's, again, these trucks, they've changed a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of learning to go to get everything situated here. So, yeah, but right now we go 3 wide. There goes the 6 and the 14. We just talked about them working that outside line. And so right now they're going to go 3 by 3. And I just saw hiding in the background here, we've got a couple more working their way to the top. That's Dean Wilkinson and Bud Steele. They're making their way to the top side here, trying to make that outside lane a little stronger here, Boomer. Appreciate you hopping in. Hopefully everything's okay with Brandon. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you jumping on board here to help out. As right now, again, get the season underway here, and these guys are holding nothing back to kick it off. He's getting himself all situated. So that's a big move there by the 5. Rick Sanchez jumps just in front of Cody Nagels right at the last possible second there. I don't think you could cut that any closer than he did. He's going to jump to the front to the middle lane. Now Cody continues that outside lane, but already big moves being made here up front. So right now still 3 by 3 up front. Now you can see though Rick's got the nose ahead here through the tri-oval. We'll see if he can get that 5 truck kind of confidently get that lap led. And you always talk about wanting to make sure you get one led, but sometimes it's so close we can't quite tell who gets that lap. But we can tell you for sure on that one that 5 truck does get that lap led here. So again, that's going to be the next step, is for some of these guys, they led a lap. Now we wait for them to try to get those most laps led to get that extra 2 points instead of just the 1. So right now I see 1 dropping back, Boomer. I couldn't quite tell. I think that may have been Anthony Lane laying back a little bit in that Mountain Dew truck, probably trying to play it safe a little bit. Or sorry, Robert Amaral, I apologize, in the 77 truck, dropping in front of his teammate Anthony Lane. But right now, definitely some busy pack racing going on here up the front, kind of 4 or 5 rows. A little bit more movement there. You saw 411 Tom Dixon. He's jumping to the middle now. You saw there for just a split second, maybe drifted a little too high, able to get it back down to the middle. Gabe cleared the middle lane. He jumps to the middle lane. Right now, everybody's just trying to figure out where the momentum is, where these lines are going to move around. Right now, looking at those drivers that are kind of the comers and goers, Dean Wilkinson, one of the highest climbers so far in the number 55. He is up 10 spots, but as soon as I say that, he's starting to drop the wrong way. It's switching over now to that 6 of Bud Steele right there in that number 6, saying he's got a great looking paint scheme with the navy on the side there, stand up to cancer on the hood. You saw some of the pre-race graphics, that logo added on there as well, because as I know, no formal sponsorship, anything like that. Just just one of those things that unfortunately I think a lot of friends, a lot of family, and definitely unfortunately some members of the league have been either directly affected themselves or family members, loved ones. So definitely just wanting to bring attention, bring more awareness to it, and yeah, definitely giving those affected all of our love. And but yeah, right now everybody's maybe starting to settle in just a teeny bit. A lot of getting back to that 2x2 now from the 3x3 we saw just a little earlier.
Is this thing on?
We got you, sir.
Oh, we must be live. All right. How's it going?
It's good. I was glad to have you. Hopefully all's well with Brandon, but I'll never say no to having a Boomer to share the booth with. We don't get to do it very often. But yeah, Boomer, I mean, a lot of new names, a lot of new faces, but a lot of hard racing. And it's a lot of them they're not new drivers, they're return drivers that maybe took a week off or even maybe the nights conflicted with Thursday nights, and now they're back here on Friday nights, apologies. And yeah, I mean, we got some big hitters back. I mean, obviously Rick Sanchez needs no introduction, Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, those are some big hitters from previous seasons here at Area 51. And as soon as I say that, Cody, a huge move there, able to get to the middle lane in front of Gabe Butler, a defending champion. And so, yeah, right now these guys are making huge moves again. There's Cody down to the bottom now in front of Rick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's fun to get the season kicked off here finally, and obviously, the fun changes to Friday nights for us now. So looking forward to seeing a good sized field here. Obviously, some of those scheduling conflicts were. Definitely there for Thursday nights, and we're happy that more of our friends here at the league and some new names and faces can join us for what should be, I think, honestly, a fun season. I'm kind of excited to throw the 2 extra races in there and get 14 in before the end of the season's done. So looking forward to this one, and it's fun to be back. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you here with us, and like I said, either running the show or popping in here, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And right now, like I said, it's been a little bit of back and forth here. Right now, I said these guys, like I said, they've kind of settled in here. Fuel windows probably roughly around 19 laps or so, depending on how aggressive you are. Which that's going to be the magic number, because if I've done my bad math right, if you make a 3-stop race, you want to get to lap 19. So that's going to be the number I think that all these drivers are going to have to hit to get to the completion of this on a 3-stop race.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how that kind of plays out as we go along here. Obviously, green flag racing, there's going to be quite a few pit stops, and it's something that these guys practice quite a bit and get used to, especially with this league being, most super speedway stuff. And, obviously pit road speed is a little bit faster. It's harder to get in your box, and the in-lap and out-lap on the apron there is going to be really big. So you're going to watch a lot of teams that are really good at coordinating that, and it's something that's always been, fun to watch here in this series and in the leagues here.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right. Oh, as we said, Cody's going to go on his side, almost up and over, was able to kind of hang on to the truck there, but we got trouble behind him, though. You see the 19, Hayden Davis. Look at Jim Brooks has just got it completely locked down, maybe just caught the inside wall a teeny bit, and unfortunately we've got the 5, looks like had to take a tow, so incident way up at the front of the field here. But man, that 6 truck, or the 06 truck I should say, that thing was hanging on its side on 2 wheels for a significant long time, and looks almost not worse for wear. That's crazy in itself. So we're gonna have to go back here, Boomer. We're gonna try to hunt it down here because it was around the 06 truck here. So we're gonna focus on Cody here. He's got Gabe to his outside. We'll see maybe a push gone wrong or not from the 5, or say again, we'll say while this is all going on. And so let's say we'll take a look right there, and I'm already starting to see a little, oh, you can see right there actually that second lane is really where it kicks off here, and it's going to be Tom Dixon in the 411, and it looks like he's got contact with the 64 truck, and it's just one of those things where you can see the 411, to me, Boomer, drifts out just a little bit there, and that's enough of an opening where the 64 is thinking, okay, he's jumping to the top side, and then Tom's going to try to get back in line. At that point, the 64 knows is there. That catches the corner of the 6 truck, and then you see the 24 into the back of the 5. But look at Cody here, though, Boomer. This truck just stays on his side, almost up and over there for a moment, is able to land on his 2 wheels, and then watch the steering play. You see the wheel all the way right, all the way left, back to the left again, and able to somehow keep that thing pointed straight there. And so that's the one good end of it. Unfortunately, the bad end right there, you see the nose center punched on the 5 truck. No engine. He's got to take a tow, unfortunately. So that's going to put us under the first yellow of the evening. Driver's going to come in, probably damage repair for some, fuel for others. And then we'll see if we see any strategies, or maybe someone just driving through to come in the second time. But looks like everybody's going to hit pit road here.
Yeah, and that's definitely interesting with that. I mean, that didn't seem like, for how much chaos there was there really wasn't a lot of damage to a lot of these trucks, other than obviously the 5 of Rick Sanchez, but hopefully he's got that fast repair enabled, and when he gets back to his pit box, he'll have a brand new truck waiting for him, and he'll be able to rejoin, hopefully. So, yeah, it looks like most of our drivers taking either fuel only or maybe just 2 tires, but I think get to go back to, I believe it's Keedy Engstrom back in 10th place for the first car to take tires here on this pit cycle.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to be curious about as well, Boomer, was going to be fuel versus tires versus, yeah, just the strategy there. So you're right that the 64 is definitely the first that took 4 tires in that 64 Wrangler truck. Looking a little further back, Jack Walls took 4 in the number 83. Todd Merkel right behind him, also 4 tires. And then you go back to Anthony Lane, and I believe either a really quick stop or possibly or a really quick 4-tire stop, because he was in the 12-13 second range, along with Frank Ranger. So maybe right sides potentially. And then some longer pit stops, likely damage repairs. I'm going to say a little bit for Robert Amaral, about 20-second stop. Vicente with about a 30-second stop in that 14 truck. And then Bob Fitzgerald, you can see him in the 08, same thing, about 30 seconds. And then Bill Hales here in that 35 truck, about 51, 52 seconds. So really in the grand scheme of things, like I said, unfortunately, the one that got the hardest hit out of all this is that 5 truck, who's still trying to get that tow complete. The field's going to come around to the 1 to go this time, Boomer. So if you're the if you're the 5 truck, which you're hoping to have, this tow's going to complete and then be able to get rolling here as fast as he possibly can. There's the nose. Now he's got to make sure if he can have tires and fuel and everything off, he could try to race this pace car off. Here he goes. Is it going to be enough to jump in front?
Oh, it's going to be tight.
He just gets it done, because he goes out of the pits. Yep, he's going to definitely get that out of pit road. So I think this will importantly only put him 1 lap down, if I'm not mistaken. I'll wait for timing scoring to update, but from what I'm seeing, it is just 1 down for Rick. So that's a big, big thing for him, because now he's the only truck 1 down, and he's going to be up with the field. So it's a really tough break for him. But again, though, if it's going to happen, it's better to happen early. And again, that's about lap 12, 13 when that caution comes out. So he's got a great chance still to recover, because again, it's a new season. It's a new, some new faces, new names, some returning faces, returning names. There's always a little bit of a growing pain in my mind, especially when you got a field of 26 trucks here tonight. You're going to have to relearn some drivers that maybe you haven't raced with in a while, or again, maybe some new guys. And so you always kind of have to maybe shake that rust off a little bit too. So I think there's a really great possibility here for Rick to get back onto the lead lap. So I got to say hi to Belva hopping in on the YouTube chat. I've definitely missed having you in the broadcast with Rick not racing last season. So I say hopefully things get a little bit better for him over tonight's race, and obviously a long season. So yeah, Boom, we're about to get going here again for run number 2. And again, this is going to shake the field number up, because we're going to restart on lap 15 of 75. So it should be about 61 laps from here now. So all those initial field calculations out the window.
Yeah, always. The yellows can shake that up. And I mean, there's a pretty good run that we got in there. But yeah, just about ready to go back green here.
So we'll see if there's any strategies of fuel saving, full send or not. So I think if I did really bad math right, if they can go about 21 laps on each tank, they could actually 2-stop it versus maybe having to take that 3rd splash. So we'll have to wait and see on that one as well. But up front, though, it's going to be that number 88 defending champion, Gabe Butler, on the inside. Cody Nagels, again, on 2 wheels, somehow able to keep that truck pointed in the right direction after landing. He's going to be on the outside of the front row. As we get back to green, you see a lot of wiggles there from those trucks trying to get back through the gears here, as it's going to be Cody right now that's got just a nose ahead here heading into 1, but right now looks like Everett is a little tighter on him than 411 and Tom Dixon to the 06.
Gabe Butler, no stranger to leading laps here at Area 51 in general, but here at Talladega as well. He's got a teammate right there behind him. Les Levy's there in the inside lane. Definitely strong in the inside lane right now. Outside lane's not really moving too far, but obviously that 06 truck is back in the action after being caught up in that first incident, and the 62 is going to hop up maybe there and see what they can do to get that top line started here.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. As we got 1, Tom Dixon, he's going to hit pit road here in the 411. And I believe this is one of the updated rules with the series that they're trying to work, is kind of just almost self-policing a little bit, where if you cause the yellow, you go ahead and you kind of drive through pit road, I believe is the penalty. And so I think that's what we're seeing from the 411. I did see the 5 come in as well. Not sure if related or maybe having to do something on his end here. He's actually got to hit pit road. So maybe still something we're missing from there. So we'll keep an eye and see for the 5 truck. But looks like he's rolling out of pit road now. So not sure on that one, unfortunately. So we'll see if we can get some more insight later on. But right now the 411 is back on track. 5 is rolling back out as well. And yeah, you're right though. The 62 Les Levy is the same thing. Glad to have him back in the series as he's trying to work that outside lane. He's got Cody pushing. And I say those two again, both stout drivers here, so easily ones we could see contending for wins here, as he's got the Maker's Mark 62 truck right now, trying to get to that top spot.
Yeah, just an iconic look for Les. Obviously, he's got definitely some great variations of Maker's Mark schemes over the years, and obviously just about as iconic as some of the Guinness schemes we see from the guy leading that inside lane still with a couple teammates there behind him. But yeah, it's we always try to shout it out, but it's always great to see all the wonderful painters and guys that can put together some really cool paint schemes here. So and that shiny red and white looks pretty good out there for that 62 here tonight.
Yeah, but it's saying Everett Lane's got the chrome 24 on the doors, and that thing just that 24, the chrome just pops really nicely as well. You see Bud Steele now, he's going to try to hop on the back. You got the 06 in front of these 6 trucks, and yeah, but you're right though, a lot of great schemes here. And again, that's the fun part too, is you get some new names, new faces, and you've got different painters that start to pop into the mix as well. So you can see Dean Wilkinson, he started to change up his cheerwine just a little bit there in that 55 truck. So sponsors staying the same, paint scheme a little different. But I just noticed there though twice now though, to me here, Boomer, is the 62 truck you saw drifted off the inside, or sorry, drift off the middle a little bit there. And again, it really has an opening for Cody to have taken it should he have chose to. And I think that's pretty much the exact situation we saw with the 411 of Tom Dixon, where he drifted up and was trying to get back down. But like I said, before he got there, another truck was in that position. So that's the concern I have, is you got to make sure if you're going to run that second lane, or honestly either lane, you got to stay pretty tight to that inside middle lane, because otherwise it's opening up that opportunity for someone to try to sneak underneath you and steal that spot.
Yeah, I mean, we're rocking lap 19 here, so it's not like we're too excited to go too far, but obviously, yeah, that 62 can't leave that door open, too often. So, but as you see him holding steady in that middle lane, a couple trucks trying to make their way down the back stretch on the outside there. Looks like potentially Vicente Guerrero and the 64 of Keedy Engstrom trying to make their way up into that third lane, trying to get that forming here. And but yeah, the urgency is definitely not there quite yet. Obviously, we had our first yellow, kind of got that out of the way, but yeah, it's rolling good so far, and just about to have some 3-wide action here up for the lead.
Yeah, if they're working their way up there, I would watch the 06 though. I'm watching Cody, because the 14 and the 06, they are teammates. I want to see, does Cody say, all right, momentum up is about to shift. Let me jump up front here. You give me that shove, Vince, and then we'll get to the front with us, as well as the help from the 64. So I'm going to watch out of 2. Does he move? Yep, there's the move. I kind of had a feeling it would happen, and there you go. Like I said, these two are two of the best working together. It's kind of almost like the Groover brothers, where they almost just know what each other is thinking. And there's the move. They both cleared that middle lane of the 62 of Les Levy. Gabe saw it coming. He said, no, not so fast here. And that was a huge move by Gabe in front of that 06 truck of Cody Nagels. And again, shows you how important this track position is. Again, leading laps though, Boomer. We got bonus points now in the mix here. 1 for leading a lap, 2 for leading the most laps. So, I mean, these guys are going to probably be a little greedy.
Yeah, I'd love to see that was added back to the rule book. Definitely rewards those guys who get a chance to be up there up front. And I mean, we've seen some incredible points battles come down to bonus points. So those are definitely going to make a big difference. But, remember what I said 2 laps ago when, that urgency wasn't quite there? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can throw that out the window there, because there's some big moves being made by the 06 and the 88 there. But for now, it's fairly calm here, settled 2 by 2 as we get the lap truck there into the mix. And yeah, we're having some fun. I mean, 21 laps, so not even a third of the way in this one, but it's been pretty good so far, I'd say.
Yeah, no, definitely plenty of aggression. And like I said, there's still a little bit of learning we have to do behind the scenes too, because like I said, with some of the rule changes, we're not 100% sure what some of the stuff was. So like I said, I believe for Tom Dixon, I think kind of the cause of the caution, I think, is kind of what was determined. And so he went ahead and served that penalty kind of on his own. Like I said, something that they're working on adjusting. But then I did see the 5 go through pit road. I believe may have stopped at a stall. Not 100% sure. As again, Gabe, their big move to get to the inside line. But now I'm look at who's Gabe's with now. He's got the 24 there of Everett Lane behind him. He's got the 071 Eric Laurie right there as well. So he's already got 2 of his teammates there. Not too far back is that number 10, Justin Davis. Justin really kind of just getting his feet wet last season in that 10 truck, but had a really good run. So it's really fun to see how he's going to pick up as things go. And then also with Justin, picked up another Davis. We got the 19 now as well, Hayden Davis in the field here. So really glad to have Hayden on board as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see again, kind of just the progression, the kind of getting comfortable with kind of the team side of things and just all the other drivers. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys. Adam Kilday's been pretty quiet so far in the 85, but we've seen what he and the number 5 of Rick Sanchez can do together. So expect to see a lot of good things out of those two as well. And then like I said, some of the guys from last season back as well. Boomer, the 13, Mike Allen, he's returned as well here tonight as I'm looking at the 46. Haven't talked about David Overstreet. David's back as well. So really happy to have him. And again, I think it's just been a lot of conflict of schedules. So really happy to have a lot of the kind of the core guys that have been here a lot. Like I said, maybe it was the Thursday night just wasn't the ideal night for them. But yeah, really, really happy to have them back.
Yeah, it's always good, glad that there was an opportunity there to kind of recognize and say, hey, you know what? A lot of our core regulars and some new people are more likely to join us here on Friday nights and making the switch. And it's good to see, honestly, it's good to see a lot of names that have been around here for a long time back and some new ones as well. Obviously, you mentioned Justin Davis, obviously fairly new to the league, but some strong teammates there and has shown, some good opportunities there. And there's definitely plenty of guys that are, maybe newer to the league, but have some opportunities. And obviously, with the nature of super speedway style racing, it's more of a, level playing field. But I don't know, it's what kind of makes it fun, and we definitely enjoy getting to watch it here.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. I feel like of the races you can do, super speedway is definitely I think has the most level playing field. I mean, you're still going to see the guys that just have that little extra, be able to kind of put themselves to the front more often than not. So, I mean, again, there's a reason why Gabe has been so good between what he can do and just the kind of the selflessness of him and his team working together to make sure one of them gets a great result, if not all of them. But yeah, you're right, though, that there's definitely those opportunities where someone that maybe we don't see running top 3, top 5 every week, they either get the strategy right or just finally luck turns their way. I mean, there's so much that comes into these things. And so with those new names, new faces, I've been kind of spying around on the Discords, trying to see kind of who's where, maybe see if we got any new additions. And I think we mentioned one, Bill Hales in the 35 truck. I think he's joined in with that Silver Fox Racing group we mentioned before with Anthony Lane, Dale Rapp, Gary Huffines, then Michael Allen and Robert Amaral. So really cool to see them. They've got a really good core group. Looks like 6 drivers in that Discord over there, so really fun to see. Obviously mentioned Bootnocker adding Hayden Davis as well, so really good to have them. And then you've got to mention Adam Kilday. It's not just Adam and Rick though. Les Levy's in there as well, as is David Overstreet. So they got again some not new returning to the league, I should say, but 4 that are working together. So that's going to be really strong as well. Then of course we mentioned 06 and 14 working together as well. So really cool to see, and it'll be fun to see how the team strategies come to play as well in the closing stages of this race, and of course as we get through the season as well once it comes championship time.
So I'm curious if there's any relationship between Davis and Davis, Justin and Hayden there, or if it's just complete coincidence. But nonetheless, always good to add new people to the to the mix. And been watching on Amazon Prime, they've got the new Earnhardt documentary, and it's just kind of interesting to see, back in the day, obviously DEI, obviously early 2000s, like those guys were unbeatable, unstoppable on the super speedways, and you always watched, obviously you watched the sad ending in the 2001 Daytona 500, but for Michael Waltrip, he gets the win because Dale Jr. stays behind him. In the July race, obviously Michael Waltrip has an opportunity in that race to pass him. He doesn't. He comes in line and sticks with him, and that obviously works really well at the super speedway racing, the style of racing, and it's really cool to see how the teammates here play into that. And I mean, there's, like you said, there's some really strong teams in here that really have some good teamwork, and it's cool to see how all that strategy ends up playing out. And I mean, there's a reason why some of the boot knockers have a lot of championships. There's a reason why people like, Dean Wilkinson have won a lot of races, Rick Sanchez have won a lot of races, and they have good people around them to help them out, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly right. And right there, I just saw a really, really good heads-up moment that, while you're mentioning that, though. And we saw there was a couple blinks by the 06 truck of Cody Nagels, and there was one time where he popped back, and he was almost inside his teammate's truck of Vicente. And as soon as that popped out, he's like, oh, okay, hold on. And so he was able to jump to the top, get out of the main line here, and now he's been able to settle back in a little bit safer. I say he's got a little bit of a truck length or two behind him with Rick Sanchez. And so that was a really, really smart move. Because, again, it's still early, as I say, that a little bit of a check up there. It's not the 6 into 85. The 5 had to react as well. And so, but yeah, so a couple little moments there, but really, really good heads-up driving. And we've got some pretty big rumors coming into the YouTube chat here, though, Boomer, where there might be a charter purchase coming from Goon Motorsports, so we could see a return of a Hondo Longmire. That could be a really big story, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one and get our in race reporters to see if they can dig out some more. But I do also want to say big thank you, Boomer, for hopping on to kind of cover late notice. I can tell you for Brandon, unfortunately, can't make it because he's got no power. Power got knocked out in the storms over there, so unfortunately not able to race, but he said he's already watching the broadcast. So Brandon, hate you couldn't make it, man. Always love your enthusiasm. Like I said, I think you and I both speak for a Boomer. I mean, he's been so much fun to have added on, just the genuine excitement for it too. Or yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just that kind of fresh perspective, and it's been a lot of fun with him last season. I'm definitely looking forward to getting him back here, hopefully on Sunday night. Hopefully everything all resolved by then. I see the field's coming up on the 411 of Tom Dixon, and right now, Boomer, everything's kind of shaken up a little bit with some of those guys with the whole pit stop situation. And right now, something's changed here, Boomer. We got a single file train going on. Are we thinking there's some strategy going on? Because it's probably about pit stop time in the next lap or two.
Yeah, they pretty much everybody pit on that first caution around lap 12, lap 13 for a couple guys that came down again. So 31, yeah, we're definitely getting close to that, and we'll see if these guys are going to split off this time or if it's going to be another time. There's going to be a couple takers here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the 14, the 06, and the 5 coming in together. My only concern is it's just 3 of them, and they're fairly spread apart here. So we'll see how they come out, if they come out nice and orderly. But the other thing, as I talked about, Boomer, was that if someone can go a little longer, that meant he cleared out my calculator. So that's always I shook my Etch-a-Sketch, so I lost my numbers. But yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see, can someone maybe pull a fuel mileage out? So there's been certain drivers last season where if there was fuel mileage ability to do it, you knew that was going to be the guy to make it happen. So we'll see Cody and them. You got the 2 together. Where's Rick? He's a little further back. I think he'll be okay. Do we see reaction? Here we go. Here's the big chunk of them. Is it going to be everybody? No, not quite everybody. Gabe's coming in maybe too hot. Oh, it's going to be close here.
Ooh. Yeah, there's a lot of takers on pit road this time. This is like pretty much the whole field. You see them coming down here. Everybody except for looks like Adam Kilday and Gary Huffins are out on track. But yeah, there's a big crew of drivers coming down to get service. So it should be pretty easy for this pack to kind of all stay connected by the time they come off of pit road here.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's kind of could be a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, so right now, though, for Adam Kilday and Gary Huffines, they just got to push like there's no tomorrow. Basically, get that truck as hot as you can if you're the 00, because this is where you're at the most vulnerable, just because of the fact that you got to make sure you don't lose too much time in this pit stop cycle. So, and like you mentioned in that giant pack, that's also a tough one because you have so many trucks around here. You see Adam, he's going to hustle it in there too. That looked nice and safe. Gary is a little more cautious on there, but obviously safely avoiding any pit penalties. And we got, obviously, these 2 to finish it. But right now, Boomer, a clean pit stops all the way around. I don't see any lengthy pit stops, so I think so far everybody was able to get on and off of pit road, no dramas. And right now at the moment, Gabe cycled to the front where those three that pitted earlier. There you go. There's Cody. There's Vince. And then looking for the 5 of Rick a little further back, but he is up in that main pack. So now I got to see where everybody cycles back around as Adam's going to roll out of pit road and try to hang on to this pack. But you can see the first 2 groups they're going to be gone.
Yeah, by the time they get back around, that's going to be tough for them, especially with the 000 getting a little bit further back in his, or because they come off of pit road there. So definitely the 85 should be able to tack onto a few trucks here, but we'll have to wait and see. As far as, pit cycles go, obviously we went from about lap 12 to a lap 32, 33 there. It would be really tight, but it is potentially possible if they can go around 21 laps or so. It would be potentially possible for these guys to stretch it on one less fuel stop, but man, it's going to be really tight. It's almost right on the number there, and I think that's going to be difficult for some, but it'll be interesting to see if anybody can stretch it out. Everybody who did come down there, obviously I think Adam Kilday, obviously he's a little bit further on back now, but I think that puts him in a good position to maybe try and do that, because obviously they'll have it'd be 22 or 42 laps to the end for him. So if he can stretch that one more time, he might be able to make the distance, and I think he's probably one of the very few that, other than Gary Huffines, that might be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. And what I'm a little surprised about, though, is the fact that right now, I was going to say, right now Adam is leading that second pack, and so if I'm Adam and I know, hey, I went a lap longer, I might be able to make this happen. I get out of the way and say, yeah, no, you guys go on by here. I got momentum. Actually, I say that caution is out, and it looks like it's towards the back here. Looks like the 64 and possibly the 17 involved there. So we'll go back and we'll take a look, but that's going to change the strategy out completely. And waiting to see if I can find, I don't see where it came through. We'll take a look, but now the other thing is going to be the potential lucky dogs, and I think it's going to be this man right here, Bob Fitzgerald, because actually he's showing just one down right now. And again, with the kind of the confusion we saw earlier with the having to stop in the pits and then go again, I'm showing Rick actually as being 2 down, and then Tom Dixon being 3 down. So if we see pit stops, which I think at this point, Boomer, I think everybody's going to top off here just to be able to, because at this point, this is probably a one-stopper to the end, I would suspect. So if I am the 5 truck, if they all pit, you stay out, you get that lap back the old on the wave round, but I believe it'll be the 08. So let's see if we can hunt down where this all occurred. I want to say it was somewhere around these guys, so we'll take a look. We'll back down a little bit just to see. Again, we're kind of speculating, but these were the trucks that were kind of, yeah, I think we found it. Looks like 17 got into the side there of the 19 a little bit. That pinballed him into the 64. And then, unfortunately, these two are going to make some pretty good contact to the outside wall. So that was the contact. That was the caution, was Frank Granger and the 64 of let's say, I'm still trying to find the name. I don't know if it's going to be, would you say?
Keedy Engstrom.
Keedy
64.
Engstrom. Right.
Yep, Keedy Engstrom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, so we'll jump back live here, Boomer. And so here we go. Everybody's on pit road. There's the 5. He's going to stay out. Wait for Bob Fitzgerald. He's going to go ahead and wave on by, get his lap back. And then this is 100% the right call for Rick and for Tom here. Stay out. Get one of your laps back. It'll put Rick back to 1, Tom back to 2, and that'll put us in a really good spot for those two. So, and then Gabe's going to win that race off of pit road. So while this is all going on, let's take a quick break. Haven't had a chance to do one of those here tonight, so we'll be back in just a moment. So stay tuned, and we'll be back to the next section here in a moment.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
All right, Boomer. Lights are off of the pace car. We're being spied on by a Brandon Briggs. I don't know if that means the internet's back or not, but say either way, him hanging out's always more than appreciated. Always, like I said, we love having Brandon over here. So yeah, so I said we got the wave rounds through, so we're gonna kind of see the strategy on unfolding some of that, and then yeah, we're gonna see up front right now. Say pretty much the top 18 drivers pitted the first time. There were a couple top offs though. Bill Hales is the first, then Gary Huffines, and then you got that 64 there, and Keedy Engstrom. I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna remember it. Robert Amaral there, and Bob Fitzgerald. And Bob, I say, made sense for him. He got the wave round. He might as well get that extra little splash too. And yeah. Oh, Brandon's putting a big one out there here, Boomer. He's calling his shot. Jack Wall's going to win back-to-back season openers. What are we thinking?
Ooh, that's a good pick for sure from the Roswell group. He's sitting there P5 here on this restart, and definitely, yeah, I'd say that's a good pick for sure. I think there's some strong trucks up here for sure. Obviously, he's got a teammate behind him in Bud Steele, and obviously Jim Brooks there in the 8th position on the outside. A couple of teammates there, so it's always good to have some friends around you. And yeah, good. I'd say that's a good pick, and appreciate Brandon throwing that in there. Obviously, like you said, Gael, he's been a great addition, and appreciate having him on board. And obviously, hopefully all goes well with all the weather and everything he's got going on. But appreciate him still spending his time here in the booth, or well in the chat with us and hanging out as we watch some race cars go back green here in just a second.
Yeah, bringing it back over to that start-finish line here in the tribal. You see field all starting to pack up there, get lined up in the kind of the middle back where they're all single file from the top offs on the one to go. As we get back to green here, we just crossed halfway point of this one. Boomer starting lap number 39, 37 to go. As the field heads back into turn one, Everett Lane right now a nose ahead of Gable. We got one out of 14 Vicente. And it looks like, yeah, you can see a little bit of a stack up. He's got Cody back now. But yeah, a lot of movement going on. I believe that was the Netflix truck there of David Overstreet kind of moving around as well. And yeah, everybody's starting to kind of get themselves lined up. And one that I haven't talked about tonight, I don't feel like really, Dale Rapp in the 52. He was also really solid in his opening season. So I'm really curious to see as well what Dale's got in store for these guys this season. I think he's been just kind of biding his time so far tonight. Todd Merkel, also really fun to have him back in here. He definitely was one of the Area 51 regulars with the kind of the oval cup type stuff at the big tracks like the cookie cutters and all that kind of stuff. So definitely love having him back here on track 2. And yeah, Justin Davis, really good looking scheme. That the Liquid Death one, and say with that gold, kind of that shine to it. Brandon, you're spot on that one. And Brandon and I always, we always eyeball the paint schemes. It's one of the fun things to do, like we did a little earlier, Boomer. And yeah, say they're back to it, and like I said, wasting no time. That 14 and the 06 back to the top here. I think they're gonna pick up a few friends here. Looks like Dale Rapp is thinking about decided I'm not gonna do it yet. So they're gonna stay down there. But there's who's that? 13 Mike Allen. He's gonna go up there, and now Dale Rapp says, okay, let's go. I'll join that third lane.
Yeah, that third lane looks pretty strong right now. Obviously, you mentioned the 14 and the 06 work really well together, have some really great chemistry there, and it's definitely showing. They're pretty strong early on. I'll be interested to see if they can actually get ahead of Dean Wilkinson and Adam Kilday in that middle lane, maybe try to get down, or if they're just going to have to keep attacking from the top there, as obviously the Bootnaka boys are inside on the inside row, 3 deep there, the 24, the 88, and the 071, as we're just past the halfway point here, and probably one more pit stop to go, so we'll see if it's going to be under green or not. And right now it's a pretty solid pack, 3 wide, at least 5 rows deep right now.
You see it right there, saw the momentum shift. He says, I'm going to hop up in front of Dean. Gabe's going to say, I'll take that. I'll go ahead and jump up there and take the inside row. And the other thing, of course, too, is we haven't really mentioned is these trucks do get hot. And the other thing is, we talk about the new builds and everything like that. We're going to hop on with Eric Laurie, and if I'm not mistaken here, yeah, we got some new technology in front of that steering wheel there. You can see the EFI dash now on these trucks as well, Boomer. So last season, it was they had the analog gauges, which won't lie, I was pretty partial to. But now we got the digital dash, which is matching what they have in the real deal. And so, yeah, right now he's and saying this is also what I want to show. This is what he sees. He just sees basically a giant Guinness sponsorship and a rear spoiler, and from there it's just kind of hoping that Gabe's going where he wants it to go. So that's again, it's really challenging to see, and obviously we don't see all the temps and all the info, unfortunately, so we don't get all the extra little details, how their temps are doing, things like that. But yeah, still really cool to see. And yeah, little updates little by little here in iRacing, Boomer, and like I said, the truck's taking on the digital dash, kind of like the ARCA cars as well with that new build, and then obviously now with the new old cars of the 2003 Cup cars, those go back to the old analog odometer gauges.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, appreciate what iRacing does to keep this stuff current, and honestly, just interesting to highlight the view there. Obviously, it's a little skewed towards the center of the truck compared to where the driver's view is going to be more towards the left side. But I mean, that's about what you're going to see. I mean, especially at super speedways, and that's something to highlight for maybe some of our viewers. Like, it's not that easy. Like, you don't, obviously with iRacing, it's not like a NASCAR video game where you get the rear chase view and you can see all the cars around you. You get a pretty immersive experience looking out at that cockpit, and I mean, it's about as close to the real thing as you can get without spending a lot of money, like obviously the real race teams do on simulators and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting to see, especially when you go down the straightaway. You can't see anything in front of you. If you're in the corners, you can see a little bit more because of the banking and the curvature, but down that back straightaway especially, it's just yeah, we're gonna push the guy in front of me, and if I get clear or if I can see something in front of me, then I'm gonna make a move.
Yeah, I'd say it's easy for us though, Boomer, because let's say we'll show off with Robert Amaral. I'm gonna check him out. I mean, we can definitely run the roof here and see everything that's going on. So that may have been something you could do in NASCAR 2003. Yeah, iRacing doesn't let you do it as a driver, but I say we got lots of viewing and visibility abilities now with that roof camera we got on top of that Mountain Dew truck right now of Robert Amaral. And I like this spot here where you're in the thick of it, but at the same time he's got a full truck length between himself and the guy in front, so he's got plenty of room to react. Ideally doesn't have to, but and the other thing that shows is just the motion, the side to side. You see the momentum shift right there, just gets right up to the back of the 46, has to back it down, just again because of how much the checkups happen, the lane changes, and so you're constantly having to adjust. I mean, you're definitely not foot to the floor all the way around here, because you're going to probably get too hot, or obviously, and again, the kind of the stack ups are going to happen. People are going to start checking because of their oil water temperatures. So there's so much going on, and like I said, it's also a little bit of strategy there. Saw just maybe a little bit of contact. I think that was the 62 truck, maybe just a little bit of contact. Looks like everybody's good to go, but definitely a close call there as well.
Yeah, the only guys that are full throttle, more than 60% around this speedway are those three. Now Vicente's going to jump up in front of the 06, but the 88, the 24, and the 14 now, those are the only three guys that are, full throttle for more than half of the lap here. Everyone else behind there, obviously in the draft, helped you pull you along. And yeah, but three wide action's been pretty solid here so far. It's really great to see these guys battling it out pretty heatedly. I mean, three wide for as long as it's been is great to see. And there's still some movement. Obviously, the 14 and the 06 are back working on the high side. They get the 13 and the 52 there as well. Yeah, I mean, the 24 is going to move down. Dean Wilkinson's going to be clear to the lead in the middle lane, and we'll see how it keeps unfolding.
Yeah, and that's exactly it is. And I think a lot of this right now it's temperature management. So what's happening is probably Dean is giving the 24 a big push, and at some point either they just know, or maybe they're communicating in iRacing. Maybe Dean's like, hey, I'm hot. And so as soon as the 24 can clear, he's like, okay, let me jump in and do that, because it's in both of their benefits to be able to do that. Because the thing is, if Dean just backs off of them to get some fresh air, then they're both just going to drop further down the pack. So in that situation, what he can do is that when he changes lanes like that, it just gives Dean a whole grill of fresh air, and then he can get those temps down in check really quickly. But now now it's reversed though. So now Gabe is pushing the 24. At some point, Gabe's probably going to tell him, "Hey, I'm hot," and we're going to see Everett do right there. He's going to jump in front of Dean, let Gabe cool that truck back off, and that's kind of the strategy that you'll see sometimes from these guys. A lot of times, of course, teammates, but then also just the drivers that you know and that you trust, and you're like, hey, I know I can make this move without any dramas. And so yeah, there you go. Gabe's able to let him back in. Probably temperatures getting back to normal, and also of course not there yet, but I mean we're within about probably I'd say 9-10 if they can make it. I'd say laps on fuel where they get to that final stop, and then that's where we get to the big question though, Boomer, is do you run the field to the bare minimum, or do you see if you can pack it a little bit extra just in case we go those two potential green white checkers?
Yeah, I think you gotta wait as long as you can. We've seen some stuff unfold here, but if you wait too long, and obviously you could get caught out. But it's really gonna be who's gonna be pitting with who at what time. But I mean, yeah, I think it's easily one stop here. Obviously, everyone kind of stopped on lap 36, 37 under caution there, and obviously that puts you in the window of less than 40 laps to go, and a couple extra laps because it was under caution there for a minute. But yeah, I think everyone's going to be trying to figure that out now. I wouldn't be surprised in 5 to 6 laps you really start to see this group kind of fan out single file, but as of right now everybody wants to be the lead, because once they single out, it is a huge difference between first and 20th as far as where you're pitting and what your track position looks like. So obviously the 14 and the 55, they're doing everything that they can to try and get themselves a spot on the bottom, or even try to clear that 24 and that 88. And obviously the 06 and the 411 are trying really hard. Obviously the 411 still looks like I believe a lap down, but they're trying what they can do to get up to that front and get that track position before we get to that next pit cycle.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And yeah, so right now the one to watch, and this is exactly what I was hoping to see out of the 5, is he's in a nice little pocket where he's got a couple car lengths behind him. He's got a little bit of wiggle room in front of him, because right now he is the first truck, the only truck, one down. You mentioned the 411 actually still sitting 2 down, unfortunately, at the moment for him. Bob Fitzgerald is 2 down. He just left pit road right now. And then I think Frank Ranger at the moment is tail end of the lead lap. He just also, I believe, had a pit stop. No, actually, I think he may have lost the draft at some point. I apologize. Didn't catch that when it happened. But Boomer, you're spot on, though. When things start to single out here, this is when you're going to need to start to figure out what you want to do. And so for me, the way I race, I like to really just cruise and save fuel early in the run. And then once the guys that are burning the fuel, like these guys, the 24, the 88, the 14, the 06, and them, they've been pushing so hard, they're going to have the worst fuel mileage of everybody else. Once they start to, okay, I got to get to the bottom here, I try to kind of know by, let's say, 2 or 3 laps before they're going to have to pit. Obviously, right now, there's not much you can do, but yeah, so if I've been saving fuel, and say I'm where Jack or Jim Brooks or Bud Steele is, I want to find a way to get to that second lane, get to that third lane, and then make a charge, because I know as soon as they peel in, maybe I'll have an opening to slide myself down in front of them after they cycle, and kind of, same thing, come out towards the front half of the field. So, but man, right now, though, you can see again that the movement's still occurring. You saw the 24 again gets the middle, but just, a little bit of just that little snaking down the back stretch there. I think everybody knows that, I mean, pit stops are always a deal breaker, I think, in this series. That a lot of guys know it's like, hey, we got to make or break this pit stop, because let's say, knock on wood, of course, commentators jinx, we've had a lot of clean racing in this series, so a lot of times it comes down to the pit stops.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, the Bootnakas and some of the Roswell Motorsports guys are probably in some of the best position here right now. Obviously, they kind of occupy, the first 2 spots in the inside lane at the moment. The 24 might have a chance to slip back down in front of his teammate. Then obviously the 83, the 51, the 6 lined up there in the inside lane. Those guys are absolutely in the prime real estate. I mean, the 55 and the 14, if they had a good push, could probably get up to the lead there. But it's definitely going to be, a challenge to do that. You can see that, obviously the second lane is forming well, but it's definitely not surging ahead like we've seen in other builds in the past in iRacing. So, but as I say that now, the 24 is just about clear. The 88, we'll see if he does get down or not, but he's got a good run through the tri-oval here. But yeah, those Bootnakas at the front and the Roswell Motorsports guys, they're in really prime position as we're getting closer and closer here. Lap 54. It's been about 18 laps since everybody is pit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think really for me, I think you want to get into pit road earliest coming to 19 to go. I think that's the soonest you want to come in. And you're right, though. The more I think about it, Jack in the 83, Jim in the 51, Bud Steele in the 6 trucks, I think they're in a really, really good spot right now because, like I said, they've been kind of in that second, third, fourth position on the inside line without having to make big pushes or anything like that. So they can really they're probably been running 2/3 throttle, if that, to just hold the draft, hold the bottom line. Bottom line is always the line that I feel like also has the most kind of checkups as well, Boomer, so you get a lot of off-throttle time in that situation. So if I'm those guys, you run that one extra lap. As soon as they start to call it's okay, as soon as they come in, we're staying locked on, and we're going to push like there's no tomorrow. Come in together the next time around, hopefully a smaller pack, and I think that's going to be their key to be able to get really good track position for the potential final step to the finish here. Because this time by Boomer, we'll be at 20 to go. And again, I don't want to see anybody pit this time. I think if they pit here, there's going to have to be fuel saving. So a little nervous if I see any takers this time by.
Yeah, you're going to really have to try and stretch it here. And, there's going to be a few. Man, that's going to be tight. But, it looks like Dale Rapp is one of them. First one in here. He's got Mike Allen with him. Tom Dixon, Anthony Lane are all in that time by. So it's going to be tight for them, these guys, to stretch it the rest of the way. Anybody who has been able to stay out, I think, is going to be a more advantage. And obviously, you saw the 14 there. He took the push from the 24, and they both got cleared down to the bottom. So Vicente's in the catbird seat at the moment. And I'm curious to see who's going to answer the call this time by, or if everyone's going to try and stretch it at least one more lap. Obviously, you want to try and have as much of an insurance policy here, and now you're finally at that 19 to go window, like you mentioned, Gael, where you feel a lot more comfortable with coming maybe this time by or later.
I think you're going to see a huge pack in this time, but like I said, my hope, I would like to see, is I want to see some guys go one more, and answer's going to be not really. We're going to have maybe a couple guys. But again, though, I don't think it's going to be enough. And so now we got to make sure, does everybody get in clean? And I got to say again, yeah, just a little lockup. But I think, again, everybody's in pit road clean. But now it's finding your stalls. Don't come across the nose of anybody. Saw right there, Cody Nagel's having to try to make sure he didn't get into Jim Brooks. And again, Cody just trying to find his pit stall. Overshoots it. Yes,
slides through it.
Yeah, but I say because, he's in a tough spot there. So you're kind of going in blind. And so he's just doing what he can to try to play it safe, as Gabe's going to win the race off pit roads. Now, for these two, again, it's like we saw earlier, though, for Gary Huffines, David Overstreet, you would have really liked if you could have had these two here, Kitty Engstrom and Robert Amaral. If four of them could have been together. The 46, I think he's out of fuel. He's dropped a bunch right now, Boomer. I think he just ran it a little too far here. He's sputtering, and now those guys are going to split him on pit entry here. So that's the gamble. So that's why we saw. Double Zero might be out of fuel too.
Yep. The 64, that was tight. I think he may be getting a penalty here, but we'll have to wait and see. You see now we got to Gabe Butler on the backstretch, who's taking up that lead of that second pack. But go ahead, Gael.
I would say, we do unfortunately have our first penalty officially, and that's Vicente Guerrero, who had a 49-second stop, which means 9-second pit stop, 40-second hold. And like you said, possibly as well for the 64 of Kitty Engstrom. So we'll wait for that one to cycle. But yeah, what I'm watching right now, though, Boomer, is these you got from Gabe Butler to Bud Steele. They've got a breakaway right now. Is it going to be enough is the question. Les Levy's about 2 seconds back. So right now, Les Levy, Dean Wilkinson, Todd Merkel, and Justin Davis, again, they just got to push like there's no tomorrow. They got to get locked on. They got to try to break that draft. And if you're these guys here, you are pushing as hard as possible to try to break away from these guys. I mean, look at Everett. He is all over them. However, here's a saving grace. So look at this right here. They're going to steal some draft from Frank Ranger. They're going to get a little extra toe, kind of that ladder that I always like to talk about, kind of that draft ladder. So they're going to get a lot of draft right here. I would expect to see them try to jump. We'll see which way Frank's going to go. And I say, so they're going to jump top. They'll lose a little bit of time, maybe just shifting lanes there. But I'm watching the timing, though. It was about 1.9 seconds last time by. It's down to about 1.6 here at the line, Boomer. I think
it's closing,
That draft that they got off the 17, that may have been the magic thing to get them through. So we'll have to watch on that. When you see the 10 truck, he's trying to push the 17 to get back up there. So I think, they're there. At this point, you can see the gap. I'm watching the interval. You can physically see it closing on the time. They're scoring on the left.
Yeah, they're within a second now, and that's usually the butter zone, the bread and butter there, where you can catch up pretty easily. And they've got a head of steam. We'll actually see if they get a chance to jump to the outside of maybe Jack Walls and try to make a little more progress. But good for them for getting back up there. And obviously, we saw Vicente Guerrero did get a penalty. The 64 of Keedy Engstrom did not, which I'm quite impressed to see after how hot he came down pit road there. And a little bit of a disconnection for the 62 and the 55 there. Maybe the 55 getting a little hot, but they are making some moves with a good head of steam up to the front of this pack.
Yeah, and surprisingly there, the 88 Gabe Butler, he opted to stay behind the 08 here of Bob Fitzgerald to say this would be putting Bob, I believe, 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm wondering again, is this a strategy thing? They said, hey, you know what? At this point, we know it's us. Let me save some fuel at the back of this 08 truck. So right now, yeah, so Bob is at the moment down 2 now with that all said and done. And so, yeah, so very interesting there. So I'm wondering, again, maybe the 88 trying to just save that little extra just in case. Because right now, like I said, you've got 1st through 10th with a couple lappers in the middle. They're all together. They're in this pack here. Now you've got the next pack here being led by Cody Nagels. He's got Dale Rapp there, Mike Allen, and Anthony Lane on the lead lap. He's also got the 5 there, Rick Sanchez. You see him in that group as well. And then everything's really split up now. You got the 2 trucks there, Hayden Davis, Keedy Engstrom together. Then you got Gary Huffines, David Overstreet. And then unfortunately, a couple one-offs here. You see Robert Amaral, he's off on his own. Jim Brooks was on his own. He's got Bill Hales now as well. And then Frank Ranger, we mentioned with Vicente. And this is actually going to be a potential battle as well, because I believe at the moment, waiting for it to update. Yeah, right now Frank is actually the first truck one down. So Vicente needs to catch these guys in order to try to see if he can actually get back to the tail end of the lead lap or be the first truck one down. So, but right now the lap times though, it's the top 10. They've got last time by about 0.3 of a second quicker than the group with Cody Nagels. Actually, last time looks like about 0.2 now, Boomer. But I think just the front group. I mean, just look at it, they got the numbers.
Yeah, that's a big pack with a lot of energy there, and I think that 17 is going to be able to hang on here, or the 14 is going to be able to hang on here. Obviously, it helps having. Actually, no, we don't see him back there now, but it definitely helps having 2 cars wide. But yeah, the 14 there had a moment. Yeah, he's definitely off the pace there, and closing into that pack behind him
here, Boomer.
Okay, all right. Well, there we go. So it looks like he's going to try and jump back here with the 06, but he gives him a big shove into turn 3. Yes.
So that's exactly what's happening. Was Vicente decided, you know what, the lap time's not going the way we want to. Let me drop back to you. We know that we can push really aggressively here, and it's also probably was like, hey, my race is in a good spot, so take all the risk you need. Just shove me for all you're worth here. And we'll see. But the thing is, I mean, they've got to make up about 5 seconds in 13 laps. I mean, they've got to pretty much average about half a second a lap for this to work out, Boomer. So that's going to be a tall task. Oh my goodness,
I think they're starting to do it though with a good amount of steam. I mean, must have been an issue with the lead pack, because they are now almost within 4 seconds and closing. So, moment there for the lead pack is the 06 is definitely going quite a bit faster now. We'll see what the lap time is, but I think they gained almost over a second in that last lap.
It's going to be over. Oh my goodness. I'm watching. Remember I talked about the 5 seconds? It's down to 3.5 seconds. It's going to be 3 at the line here, Boomer.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant call by these two, because I remember I said they have to gain half a second a lap. Leaders ran a 51.69. Like you said, something happened that previous lap, and Cody and them, they ran 49.88, almost 2 seconds quicker that last lap.
Yeah, they're within 2.5.
And
yeah, we missed it at the front there, but
yeah,
that's impressive. Those guys are, I mean, what a move by the 14, knowing, hey, you know what, I am out of this. I could come up here and race for this lucky dog, but no, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to help my buddy out in that 06, and they are charging up there. They're almost within 2 seconds, and we've got plenty of racing left here for them to get up in this mix and make a really big lead pack here.
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point, they're almost within 1.5, and so, yeah, I'm going to say this time next lap, they're there, if not sooner. So, and then the other guys in this group, Mike Allen, Anthony Lane, Dale Rapp, they're like, yeah, you guys do this. We're loving this. We'll just kind of follow this along to the front here, and yeah, job done. I mean, they're there. So there's Dean here. He's last of the lead pack there. And I mean, if they keep this momentum up here, if they want to, Boomer, I mean, they could just keep going here. And this is a strategy
absolutely.
too, though, because Cody could just push Vicente, get him to be the tail end of the lead lap here. And nope, it's going to be a mixed bag here. Vicente's going to keep going. And nope, actually, as I said, Vicente's going to peel off as well. I'm wondering if there's some fuel saving now having to happen where these guys are, okay, we got there.
Yeah.
We burned a ton of fuel. We got to back it down. So we've got a very interesting strategy now. We've got pretty much another single file line as if it was about time for pit stops, but we're coming to 10 to go here, Boomer. So we got some numbers being crunched.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm realizing it too with some of our leaders here. I mean, they're a decent amount slower than some of their fastest laps. I mean, we're about 2 seconds off the pace. We're more than 2 seconds off the pace.
They dropped the anchor.
I think these leaders were dropping anchor too. I mean, still, nonetheless, I mean, what a move by the 14 and some great thinking to come back. And like you said, though, obviously they're there. They probably need to save a lot more fuel to get to the distance, so they're just going to hang in back. Obviously, we thought that they were going to just, steamroll all the way to the front, but they're, quietly back there, 6th, 7th, it looks like in the outside lane right now, and just getting comfortable, saving some fuel. And yeah, I think our leaders were definitely saving a little bit, especially Les Levy there in front. I mean, especially last time by, it was a 51.76 for actually now our leader Adam Kilday, which is over 2 seconds slower than his best lap of a 49.58. So definitely some fuel save going on. Not as much now, 50.99 there for Adam Kilday, so they picked up about a second, but definitely, it's going to be tight. I think for everybody that pit on lap 55, like Mike Allen, Anthony Lane, Dale Rapp, it's good that they're back in the pack, because otherwise I'd be pretty nervous. Keedy Engstrom, Gary Huffines, and David Overshoot, unfortunately, they're the ones who pit on lap 57, but they are about 12 seconds in a pack further on back. So it's everybody here, but I think almost everybody in this group here is probably a little worried about fuel.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so as well. And yeah, so I mean, and then here you go. Looks like Cody's going to make the move now. He's going to pick up Vicente, and you can see, I think everybody waited for that, maybe for that window or something, and they said, okay, now we know we're good to the end, because you can see everybody started to make some moves. Now you got Jack Walls there. He's got Bud Steele working with him. He's got the 2 of Todd Merkel there as well. And yeah, it just seems like everybody kind of turned that dial up a little bit. It's like, oh, nope, it's time to go. And so very interesting, like I said, that they all backed it down about 2 seconds there. You see Cody able to clear both lanes. He jumps to the bottom. He's going to go and take the point now in the inside lane, but I don't think the momentum is done yet, as the 83 and the 6 are going to work that second lane here. And then again, then you're going to have a huge battle for that Lucky Dog position, though. Vicente is right now right in front of his competition there in the 17, so they're going to be kind of watching each other, because again, if something were to happen, it may not be this group. It could be another group trying to close the gap. There's a lot obviously still on the line for a lot of these guys. So, but yeah, the other thing I was watching, Boomers, the guys that went ahead and pitted at 55, the Mike Allen, the Anthony Lane, the Dale Rapp, those 3 drivers, I think right now they are even in bigger fuel save mode. And that's why I think we've seen them just kind of cruising where they are, because they know, hey, we can't make this giant move that Adam Kilday just did off of turn 2 to jump in front of Jack Walls, as Jack's going to get to the point, or sorry, Adam's going to get to the point. He jumps back in front of Cody. And yeah, it's time here now, Boomer. Everybody's trying to make those big moves here coming to the end. And right now, the outside lane's playing spoiler, because you've got 2 of those 4 trucks there are a lap down. The 14, the 411, the 17. The only one that's in the lead lap in that group is Everett Lane, and he's the 3rd truck in line. So right now, it's all about those inside and middle lanes.
Yeah, and remember, the 5 here is tucked into the back of this pack, and obviously the 14 and the 17 trying to make their way to the front. It's possible that they could get ahead of the leader and then get their lap back the hard way, or obviously they're in the pack here. If the 14 or the 17 are involved in an incident and the yellow comes out, then the 5 would be the lucky dog. So I think that's a smart play for the 5. He doesn't have the track position that those guys have right now, so he's just kind of waiting it out and seeing what unfolds here with less than 10 laps to go, 7 to go, or 6 to go, I believe this time. But yeah, the 85 making some strong moves up in the front there. Him and the 06 working on the inside lane. Les Levy there, the 83. Sticking with his teammate there for Roswell Motorsports in the 6 of Bud Steele. They're looking strong in that middle lane, but yeah, no one's really, that third lane there kind of fizzles out, and we're just going to be back to 2-1 racing.
It fizzles out, but it also means it's new opportunities, though, now for that third lane to form with some lead lap trucks as well. The other thing I was looking at, though, was you mentioned Rick Sanchez in the 5 truck. He also pitted on lap 55, so also probably on big fuel save mode in that
Saving.
5 truck as well. So he probably can't afford to make those big moves either. So, but yeah, so right now, though, like you said, now it's 5 to go here, waiting to see what the strategy is going to be. And again, kind of, I think right now everybody's trying to manage the track position, but also the field. They're having to try to do both at once, and that's never an easy thing to do. And also, of course, if you're on the inside lane, you look where Gabe Butler is, you look where the 10 of Justin Davis are. You love your up front, but you're like, man, I'm pinned to the inside line. I've got my teammates too, but they're pinned to the outside line. Or I should say pinned to the outside line, but they're on the outside line, so I'm still kind of pinned behind them. Oh, you see Eric Laurie, he jumps up. A little bit of contact between he and Todd Merkel. But you can see, though, Gabe and the 10 of Justin Davis, they couldn't go with them because they're pinned to the inside still, so like they can't go with their teammates even if they want to.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck there. Obviously, now you're kind of at the mercy. The outside lane and the middle lane have a little more opportunity to kind of move. If you're on the bottom, there really isn't too much that you can do there. But sometimes the bottom can be safer if it were, for some incidents and yellows, the way that they kind of fall. Typically, they'll kind of like feed up the track before they come back down. So the inside lanes, and also you can run to the apron or run to the grass if you need to as well. But the 071 really strong run here on the outside with the 24, but the 83 and the 6 are still looking a little squirrely for the 62, but we stay green through the tri-oval, and should be 3 laps to go this time by.
Yep, we're at 3 to go, and again, there's the move, Adam. Kildale, a little bit of contact. Can everybody hang on to it?
No,
there's the contact.
Not quite.
That's
Put
going
it
to be
out.
the 62 around the 83, the 2 also involved. And you can see a couple trucks just dropping the anchor. You see the 5 truck we'd mentioned as well. He's just come to a stop, let everybody sort through cleanly. And then, so unfortunately, that's going to be a late yellow. That's going to bring us to a green-white checkered finish here, Boomer. There's a reason why we named that. We're not aiming for it, but it is something that does occur from time to time. And so fuel question out of the window now. Everybody's going to be hitting the pit road, probably get at least a splash of fuel. But this is also going to bring a ton of trucks back into the mix of this race now, Boomer, as I believe we have 21, if I'm not mistaken, on the lead lap. And it's also going to bring a couple trucks back into the fray as well. Frank Ranger sees missing some body panels there, so maybe also involved in it. And then we'll see how's Vicente's looking. So we'll have to see how that all unfolds. But let's go back. Let's try to find the contact here that triggered all of this. And actually, I know I'm way too far forward, so let's back it down a little bit. And I think it's actually going to be the 85 and the 83 that get together, kind of again with the lane shift there. So we'll focus on Jack here for the moment here as they enter turn number 1. So we're watching Adam. He's in front. He jumps to the outside there. I don't even know if that's a lane change or is that just maybe a bump that gets him unsettled. But yeah, then he slides in front of the 83, and I think it's just the momentum difference. The 83 had a huge head of steam, and for a moment, everything looked like it was going to be okay, but I think right there, maybe Bud got a little bit, or if just, again, he's still just trying to chase that car, and then comes right across the track there. You can see, picks up Todd Merkel, just know where he can go. You see Frank Ranger, same thing. He's just unfortunately fully committed to the spot he was in. And then from there, it's just kind of seeing, Les Levy going for, unfortunately, a bit of a wall grinds there. But I'm looking to see, we mentioned Frank Ranger. You can see, obviously, he was involved. But the one that I see also on the binders there, Vicente Guerrero, he was ahead of the 5 at the time. And I think he's going to get through unscathed here. It looks like you can see he's taking no chances. So I think Vicente will be the first truck one down. And and there he goes right on cue. And then we'll watch for Rick, and I think Rick is also getting the wave. Same thing, I believe they've changed things a little bit where you can, basically a caution comes out if you're lap down, you basically doesn't matter if you're the first or not. I think you can just get waved by if I'm not mistaken. So actually I think it's going to put both the 14 and the 5 on the lead lap. And then let's jump back to pit road because it looks like it's going to be Eric Laurie that wins the race off of pit road. And again, he's just kind of been doing a quiet Eric Laurie race, I feel like, Boomer. And so he's going to come out on top. He's going to have Cody to his outside, but then he's got a teammate right behind him in the 24 of Everett Lane. And then he's going to have another teammate behind Cody Nagels of Gabe Butler. So if you're Cody right now, you're like, man, I got 3 teammates pretty much surrounding me. I might be in a tough spot here. And then also add Justin Davis, actually. He's going to restart 6th. He'll be right behind the number 88 of Gabe Butler. So, yeah, I mean, he might be between a rock and a hard place on this restart, pending on what he's able to do.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Everyone at least doesn't have to worry about fuel for the rest of the way with everybody coming down
Eric
the road.
Speed Boomer. He's letting everybody by.
Yeah, I don't see a penalty for here. Let's check. I'll check an iRacing here. I don't see a penalty for him right now. So, yeah, not sure why.
I'm not sure if it'll show though for a speeding penalty. I think it's only for a black flag.
Got it.
But that's got all the makings of the end of the longest line, though, to me.
Yeah, it must have been speeding after his pit box,
on exit,
on exit, or yeah.
Oh man, that's
or unsafe pit exit.
Oh, that's potential too. You're right, but oh man, that's a heartbreaker for Eric. I mean, to be able to come out possibly with the lead, and now to fall back into the 20s after all this, it looks like most likely. So, oh man, yeah. I feel like
definitely
it's been one of those. If it wasn't for bad luck, Eric wouldn't have any luck at all. And it looks like that might be how the season is starting on this one too. This one may not be due to something out of his control. May have unfortunately just been a little bit of a mistake on the restart or on the pit exit. But now though, Cody's now the control truck here, Boomer. But again though, he's got an opposing teammate to his outside with Gabe there to the inside now. But he does have separation, which maybe helps him, honestly, because now you've got a truck in between the 24 and the 10 who are teammates. And so, yeah, and of course with the green-white checkered, there's only so much time you have to try to get organized and everything. So it's going to get probably pretty aggressive here. This is attempt number 1. We do have 2 attempts. Hope not to use it. And, yeah, I think it's just going to be who you can find as a partner as fast as you can in this one.
Yeah, you kind of have to go with who you got now. Obviously, the teamwork gets you to, a good spot towards the end. And obviously, if the 24 and the 88 can find each other, they're going to try for sure. But obviously, or the 10, if the 10 can somehow get in there too. But yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount of teams that are just kind of hanging out up here. A couple boot-knocker guys. Obviously, the 85 is working there in that high lane. Yeah, no, I don't see any teammates for him anywhere around there. There's the 6 of Bud Steele for Roswell Motorsports. So there's a couple guys. It's kind of a hodgepodge, and at this point, there's not really any teammates that are really well lined up. So you just kind of have to push who you got and go from there.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's going to be. Even if it's not teammates too. I mean, we always talk about that, where it may not be a teammate, but it's someone that you race with, and you're comfortable with. And it's one of those like, I'd be okay if they win. And so you'll see that at times as well. So we'll see, though, again, attempt number 1 of Green-White Checkered here on Green-White Checkered TV, as it's going to be Cody Nagels inside Everett Lane to the outside as they hit the restart zone. And we are underway. You can see immediately all those trucks starting to just get that little bit of a wiggle as they build up speed. As we're 2 to go, and you can see Adam Kilday all over that rear bumper of that 24 truck, trying to get his nose ahead. Gabe's also right on the back of that 6 truck, and right now they're pretty even right now, so we'll see who makes any moves here out of 2. Got to build that momentum up to get to that 3rd lane, and so far no takers yet, but it's going to come eventually. Just got to see who that first mover is, and there you see it. I think that is, which truck is that one?
52.
52 Dale Rep, and yeah, that's a great call by him. You got to make a try, so he's going to try to get up there. We'll see if he can get the momentum. Dean Wilkinson starting to peak up there as well. But right now you can see Gabe's pretty much committed to that truck, to his front bumper. And yeah, we'll see what they can do. You can see the guys in the back trying to build that momentum up here. But first they got to get to that white before we potentially race this thing out here, Boomer.
White flag in the air for 1 lap to go. We're going to make it to the distance here. Obviously, no cautions can come out at this point, so we're going to race it all the way back to the line. 2 wide as he enter turns 1 and 2. The 06 on the inside with Gabe Butler pushing the 24 and the 85, in the outside or the middle lane right now. As a couple cars high and up into the wall, but we stay green.
Yeah, I think the 81, the 55, I think they got hooked together because I think they tried to go up together and they just got stuck and it just put them in the wall. But Steele down to the apron, is that temperature issues for the 6 maybe blowing up there. So he's going to try to drop off the racing surface to avoid any drama because, again, these guys have been pushing really hard, so there is potential motor drama. But now it's all about that push to the line here. Right now, Cody's got the nose ahead, but it's a big charge from the outside lane with Everett. We'll see if he can make anything happen. Oh, big hit in the back there at the line. It's going to be Cody getting the win here tonight at Talladega, and it looks like it's going to be not quite thousandths of a second, but it's going to be close. But Cody's going to grab the win here tonight.
Yeah, good push from Gabe Butler there all the way to the end to get him there. And obviously Everett Lane had a great run too, and a pretty good, I definitely saw the side draft that they were trying to generate there. Definitely helped towards the end. But yeah, that was an exciting finish, and I don't know, it's always fun to see. Obviously, even when we have a green-white checkered, it's fun to see it go green flag all the way through to the end. Obviously, there's some, if we look back, there's some carnage that happened behind the leaders here, but good finish there.
Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that. First, we got to show the celebration because he doesn't have to save fuel anymore. He probably put a little bit in, so he can do a little bit of extra celebrating. As you see, he's getting everything warmed up over there to make some moves. And I've seen him do some big money races, and I think he's had some practice at these as he's going to slide it through the front stretch there. And he kept the thing perfectly straight as well as he worked it backwards. So these guys are making me think if I got to be good, I got to practice some burnouts too. But no, a really good job by Cody there to get the win here tonight. And while we watch them celebrate, we can pull up those race results to see where the rest of the field lined up. And it is going to be Cody by 8 thousandths of a second over Everett Lane. And then you've got Gabe Butler. So actually it did drop into the thousandths. I apologize. Then Gabe Butler, Adam Kilday, Jack Walls, there are top 5. And then Justin Davis, Hayden Davis, they're 6 and 7. So Justin's got the bragging rights for this week. And then you got Jim Brooks there with the top 10. Great recovery for him. Mike Allen, Bill Hales there in the top 10. Les Levy 11th. Rick Sanchez, he was down a lap or two the entire race after that first yellow boomer. He brings it all the way back up to 12th. So not obviously the result he wants, but again, big picture for him. That's a great recovery drive for him in that last green-white checkered attempt. And then you got Robert Amaral, Eric Laurie also getting back up to 14th. Same thing, not what he wanted, but still able to get up there. And then you got Vicente Guerrero, Gary Hutfines, Dale Rapp, Anthony Lane in 18th. Continuing down the order, Dean Wilkinson we saw on that later, I think had that contact out of turn 2, cost him some time. Then lost my spot there. Sorry, Keedy Engstrom, David Overstreet. Then Bud Steele last on the lead lap, and then Tom Dixon and Bob Fitzgerald one down, along with Todd Merkel, Frank Ranger Jr. there as well, one down, and Charles Johnson unable to race, but appreciate him coming over and trying to help out here. But Boomer, you said there was some stuff coming to the checkered, so let's go take a look at that real quick before we get to our chats. And we're going to jump it back just a little further here because, man, yeah, look at these guys here. It's0 and 51 make a little bit of contact there. That hooks the 35, I believe that was. And, oh, yeah, that's where the 00 gets the worst of it. And then you see Rick just able to sneak inside. And then, yeah, behind him, though, oh, my gosh, the 00, though, he definitely, yeah, he goes up and over. So not how Gary was hoping to end the race. But on the plus side, he still ends up ahead of those 3 trucks, though, that were able to stay on their wheels through. So, I mean, I guess silver linings. And actually, you see Jim Brooks there. He's almost up and over as well. So a lot of stuff happened in those final couple of laps. But yeah, in the end, though, like I said, it was a great fight, though, between Cody and Gabe there and Everett to see who could get that top spot. And like I said, Cody was just able to just come out on top. And talk about trucks almost flipping over. Cody was on the side of his truck for a good chunk of the backstretch, but kept it pointed straight afterwards. And that'll be something we get to quiz him about here now.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, a great recovery for him tonight and a good run so far. So
we are going to do here, Boomers. First, we got to hunt it down. There we go. We got to start off with our podium finisher, and that is going to be our number 88 of Gabe Butler, our defending champion. Couldn't quite get the win to kick off the season, Boomer, but grab a podium here tonight. And Gabe, I'm guessing kind of mixed emotions because at first it looked like things were going to be really nice because I was showing Eric Laurie up front, and then you had Everett yourself, you had Justin Davis right there. I mean, you guys were looking solid, but was it maybe a speeding penalty for Eric that sent him to the back there on that last yellow?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And prior to that caution, it was a fuel mileage race, and I was trying desperately to save. I was going to be probably about a tenth short, a couple of 100 yards from the finish line. I probably ran out, or maybe somewhere in the tri-oval, so I couldn't really race. So when the caution came out, I was happy about it. Not that I want to see cautions, but I was able to race from that point on. But unfortunately, I got a speeding penalty and put him in the back. But yeah, hell of a job by the fellas tonight. I mean, Everett P2, me P3, and then Hayden, like to welcome him, cousin of Justin there. Those two guys, P6 and 7, so that was awesome. And luckily enough, Eric ended up coming 14th after all that. So
yeah, big
good job
recovery
by
for
the
him
team.
too. Yeah, and I was telling Boomer, say Justin's got bragging rights on Hayden this week, so he can hold that one over him for that one spot. But you mentioned the fuel mileage, obviously going into, and that's what we saw too. Was kind of at one point it seemed like everybody kind of dropped anchor, and then with about what was it, Boomer, about 5 to go, I want to say. It was like, wait a second, and then everybody started to crank the speed back up. Was it one of those where you're just waiting till they all kind of blinked and then it's like, okay, now I'll go too? Or I mean, how are you trying to manage that pace before the yellow?
Well, when they started going, I was still going to be short, so I was going to be forced to wait till the very last lap to see if I could get it in line. But by that time I don't think there was going to be any room, so I kind of resigned myself to just maybe finishing in the top 10 or something, hopefully. But then the caution came out and it changed everything. So I guess we'll take it.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. Obviously, we saw, especially Everett probably was one of the best that did it to kind of jump in and out of like the bottom lane to the middle lane. I don't know if you have any comments on, obviously every, season there's a little bit of a build update, but it seems like the trucks are definitely getting a little hotter quicker than they have in the past. And we've seen, I think we saw actually the 6 of Bloodsteel was got hot and had to jump out of line, and unfortunately kind of ended his day earlier on the last lap there. But it seems like these trucks are getting a little hotter quicker, and it's a little harder to kind of stay steeled off behind the guy in front of them to to get that push.
Yeah, they are getting hotter a little bit quicker, but the problem is they're getting very difficult to cool. I've found in all the cars, whether it's the Xfinity car or the Gen 4, I can't speak for the next gen, but all the cars that we race, like the big car, the trucks, the Gen 4, those type of things, it's become really hard to cool them down. So that's the issue. So that's why it's even more important now for the guy you're pushing, when he's clear to try and clear up or down to let his pusher cool the truck back down or the vehicle down. So yeah, the temperatures are like, yeah, you really have to manage them now, where before you had to manage them before, but now it seems to be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I know. And I say so. So then, obviously, the big change in the trucks is the analog dash to the digital dash. How is that for you? Are you able to see the maybe the temperatures easier? Is it harder? Just need more time getting used to it? Because I'm an analog guy. I'm a little sad about the digital gauges, but what's your take on those for when you're trying to do everything in the heat of the moment?
Personally, I don't like it because it doesn't change color when you get close to your RPM limit, and that caught me out on a few restarts. Now, I have a third-party app that I use, Sim Racing app, so I have the analog gauges in front of me, which I've just got to train myself to look down at them more now versus that digital dash. I think it's horrible. It's kind of hard to see. The lighting on it's not very good. Anything that's really glaring and clear is they have when you're overheating, it comes up and it says overheating, big huge block letters saying overheating. But whereas before, you kind of, especially with the sim racing apps, they turn yellow first to kind of catch your eye, and then when you got into red, it would coordinate with the analog dash on the truck. So it's going to take a lot of getting used to. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. It's very hard to see, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I haven't obviously been able to see it on track, but yeah, just a little bit. Like I said, just me being me, it's like I know they have to have a current with what is in the real world, but yeah, selfishly, I'm like I want my analog stuff back. But I mean, Gabe, it's obviously a great start to the season. I mean, we obviously a great job by the admins and the people behind the scenes getting a good truck count tonight too. It's gonna be even harder than it already is. It looks like you got some big hitters back in the series here tonight, which is great for everybody. But obviously a great way to start things off as well for the season opener for your defending your title. So definitely got to give you the floor as always. Any thanks and shouts for that podium tonight, sir?
Oh yeah, definitely big shout out to the admins and Area 51 in general. Really good car count. It's going to be a great season, and of course you guys up in the booth, fantastic job as usual. And all the drivers that showed up tonight and raced hard. It was a really really good clean race, but a couple of unfortunate incidents. And of course the boys in Team Bootknocker there. We had a really good night. We enjoyed ourselves, and we look forward to next week.
All right, great job tonight, Gabe. Looking forward to seeing you the rest of the way, sir.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, Boomer. That is Gabe Butler, our third place finisher. We got to jump one spot forward, and that is going to be another Bootknocker driver, and that is Everett Lane, who had the outside lane on that restart. Everything was looking really good there. Everett, you were going to have Eric Laurie in front of you, and then you had Gabe to your outside, and not too far back was Justin. And then unfortunately the penalty shows, and then he's dropping back, and it's like, oh man, at what point? I mean, what's the adjustment there behind the wheel of the 24 truck? You see you have Adam behind you. As it just kind of just stay tight to the inside line and hope Adam just can push you as far as he can, or is there anything you're trying to do behind the wheel there?
Yeah, it was a good race there. Just trying to stay steady for Adam to push me all the way to that end there. He got a little warm going into 3, and he had to back up a little bit, and then he came back to me. We just came up a little short. And tonight's race was intense and a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun over here at Area 51 with these guys. A lot of lead changing tonight, good drafting. Tonight's race was spectacular for me. Finished second, came up a little short, but had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seems like, obviously we talked to Gabe a little bit about the overheating. You mentioned for the 85, the overheating there is getting a little more tougher with the latest build, but it seems like for the most part, the trucks were pretty stable tonight. We saw some really great pushing. Obviously, saw some fuel save in there a little bit as well, but I mean, for the most part, we had some really great 3-wide packs. Obviously, you were doing a really great job trying to manage that middle lane and the bottom lane at different points in the race and trying to stay up front, but it seems like everyone had a really good opportunity, some pretty stable trucks to do some aggressive pushing.
Yes, iRacing put a good setup in these trucks. These things are really easy and really fun to drive on the super speedway. They're stable, like you were saying. I had no trouble pushing or being pushed tonight. I think that's why you've seen such good 3-wide racing there. The dashboard takes a little bit to get used to. I had to turn on my sim racing app, so I'd have my 2 gauges up on the dashboard because the dashboard's totally different in these trucks now. And it's going to take all of us drivers a while to figure this dashboard out.
Yeah, no, I think the digital dash is definitely probably going to be the biggest thing for most guys to get used to. Because I mean, think about it. I mean, we've been used to those analog gauges for years now in the series and in just in iRacing in general. So yeah, so it's going to be a big adjustment there. But yeah, I mean, like you said though, I mean, a new season, a good chunk of either new drivers, returning drivers, but. Like I said, really, really good racing, a lot of hard racing. Saw a lot of move. I mean, you were one too, making huge moves where you'd be leading the inside lane, and you can actually probably explain this as well. Was the changing lanes from like bottom to middle? Is that kind of just for helping the guys that are pushing you keep their temperatures in check, or is it kind of going where the line has the momentum? How are you what's the deciding factor on which lane you want to be in at those points in the race where you kind of would change from inside to middle or vice versa?
Yeah, Gael, we were unfortunate enough to run with the Bootknockers, and me and Gabe were in the same Bootknocker channel, and we were working together to keep each other cool, and that's what we would do. We let one push for a while, then move up to the second lane on exits to stop that run on the outside, and let the outside guy push for a little while. And when he would get hot, we would go back. I'd go back down in front of Gabe, and that was kind of what Gabe was doing earlier of the race with me. I'd push him, he'd move up. You got to keep these things cool. They're hard to cool back down once they get hot. But yeah, that's the name of the game with these super speedway races with these trucks is help each other out, trying to cool each other down, move from lane to lane.
No, so you were doing everything right. Like I said, the moves were impressive. So they made me nervous. I was talking back. I was like, oh, I'm gonna race with you guys this season. I'm seeing some of the stuff you guys are doing. It's like maybe I'm not ready for this yet. But no, I mean it was a hell of a job tonight. Like I said, you guys were put on a really really good show, and I mean I feel like that's all you can ask for is to put yourself in position to win these races. And like I said, you were front row on that last restart, and I mean just about there is 0.008 of a second I think we found at the end. So just really, really great job as well for you, man. So definitely want to give you the floor or any thanks and shout outs for that runner-up spot tonight.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Cody on his win and thank Gabe and all the boot knockers, Justin, Hayden, and Eric. Unfortunately, Eric had a little penalty there at the end. I pushed him up there to the lead, thought he was going to get him a win. But the boot knockers ran well tonight. Enjoyed running over here with them guys. Area 51 does a great job over here. Thank Charles for everything he does, and you guys up here in the booth, probably two of the best announcers in iRacing here. You guys do a super job over here, Green White Checkered.
No, I appreciate it. So you make, I mean, I always say you guys make it easy for us to do this. So, but no, I really appreciate the kind words. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing what you got through the season. It's obviously, like I said, a great start. Lots of racing left to go in it, but yeah, look forward to seeing what you got for the rest of the season, though, Everett. And appreciate you taking time with us, and look forward to chatting again, hopefully soon.
All right, Kyle. You guys have a good weekend. Thank you very much.
You too, sir. All right, Boomer, that lives his last fella to chat with, and spent a section of the race there, Boomer, kind of on his side, sideways across the backstretch. Wasn't sure if he was going to flip over or not. And
all over the place.
Yeah, and then he landed, and I mean we were looking at it, Cody. I mean, you've got the wheel full lock left, full lock right, just going back and forth, just trying to keep that thing back organized, and hung onto it. And I guess question number one is, did you come out of that one unscathed? I mean, the truck looked clean as a quick stop, or is that just a quick fast repair and keep the track position? Or, I mean, take us through the just what you're feeling while that's happening, and then yeah, what the strategy was after that.
Oh, first off, good to see you guys. God, it's been a long time. Shoot. So, yeah, I got right hooked, and I was trying to save it, but there was no save in the truck. So it was like sideways, and it was a little bit scary. But when I finally like touched back down, I think I touched a truck. I haven't even had a chance to look at it, but I think someone like hit me ever so slightly, and I just essentially wheeled it. It got the truck straight, and I went into pit, and it only said 6 seconds of damage. So I got kind of lucky, honestly. I should have probably had to eat a faster repair there because I thought I was going to be flipped over on my lid. But all else was good till the green flag pit stop. And then I wasn't able to get down, and I kind of got deked. Like I couldn't see my pit sign or anything. So I overshot, lost the draft. And Vince got caught speeding. So he came back, and I got connected with him, and we were able to get back in the pack, save a little bit of gas, but then of course the late caution and everyone had to pit. So I kind of gambled, took 1.7 instead of the 3.4 I think that most people took, and I was able to get the lead there. Again, I feel like I was just kind of fortunate circumstances. I had Gabe behind me pushing. I figured bottom was safe. I could have went up on a tight clear in front of Everett, but I really don't want to do that to him. I'd rather just drag race him to the line, and if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you seems like there was a really good rebound for you tonight. Obviously, you mentioned there, the moment between you and the 14 where he comes back to pick you guys up. And at the time, we were watching it, and we're like, these guys are making great lap times, not realizing that potentially the leaders are saving a little bit of fuel. But at that point, were you worried at all with how hard you did have to push to get back up there, that you would be out of fuel? Obviously, it didn't end up matter anyway. But we were kind of curious to see. Obviously, you guys didn't take the opportunity to go to the outside and try to go get to the front of the pack, and you kind of just stuck in, and it seemed like you guys were saving some fuel at that point.
Yeah, I mean, only having Vince, if they got to racing and we had to go 3 wide, I don't really think there was much chance without help that was going to be able to clear. And we were tight. Like, I'm talking, like, I was actually a little bit short, but their pace was down. They were trying to save a little bit. So I just told Vince, let's back it down for a couple laps, save a little bit, and then go. Well, when we went and I went to the front, I actually was like right on the number. I was like thinking to myself, I think I might have went a little early. And I was hoping that Adam would drop down in front of me a couple times so I could save just that little bit to get through the tri-oval if we went green. But we would have been fine, but it was going to be close. Like, it was going to be one of them where you either run out just short of the line or right after the line. So we burned so much catching the pack that we kind of just had to play patient, play the waiting game, and just let a few laps wind down before we made the move.
Yeah, and I mean, Boomer, yeah, we were looking at the lap times, but I also remember looking at the best laps of the race overall, and I want to say you, like, with you and Vince sending it, like, you were still, like, 49.8-ish, I want to say, which a lot of guys, their best laps were in, like, the 49.5s or something, so, I mean, you guys were hooked up, you were hauling the mail, and we talked pre-race. Let's say, obviously, also loved having both of you back over here. I was like, yeah, those two get hooked up together, you're gonna see lap times, and then we saw again the teamwork, the dedication, where Vince said, all right, yeah, didn't go to my plan for me, let me drop back, pick you up. I say we caught it there. You gave him a hell of a shot going into 3 to get the momentum built back up, and then you guys went for it and caught the field. So like I said, there was a little bit of everything tonight. You had to recover after a near flip, and then obviously catch the draft back up. And same thing, we actually were able to catch a lot of you tonight, because we also saw the pit road hiccup. Because like you said, I mean, when you got about 20 trucks in pit road, I mean, you're going in blind basically, and you want to obviously try to get in the pit lane. But the problem is with the way iRacing is, if you're out of the pit stalls, there's car contact, and so like if someone cuts across your nose, and it's a tough balance to do. So I mean, you had to do a lot tonight to get there, and like I said, I mean, I think same thing for me. If I'm up front, I got Gabe behind me, I'm feeling pretty good. And Boomer even alluded to it too, where the inside lane, I mean, you've got some more protection if something were to happen. So there's a lot going on tonight, but I mean, new season, new names, new faces, returning names and faces. But I mean, like I said, yeah, you guys put on a really, really good show tonight, Cody. And like I said, pleasure having you back. But yeah, we got to give you the floor, sir. Any thanks and shouts for that win this evening?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys, of course. Green White Checker TV. Always love watching your guys' broadcast. And I know I haven't been here, seems like in over a year, but glad to be back. I plan on running the full season, so we'll see what the season brings. Honestly, I owe it all to Vince, just in general. I haven't been able to run with him too much lately, but just to be able to run with Vince again and, find time in our very busy lives, I'm very thankful. In the time that I have been gone from Area 51, I got recently engaged, so I have to thank my beautiful fiancée, Michaela, for supporting me in doing this, and I love her a lot. And again, just big shout out to Charles Johnson and everything you guys do behind the scenes at Area 51 for making this happen. And a good battle up there with Adam, with Everett, with Gabe, just everyone that was able to battle up front. Dean, a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, like I said, great having you back. And yeah, big congrats to you too. Very, very excited to hear that. And so you don't worry, you don't send us an invite, so you're off the hook on that one. But no, congrats again though, Cody, on the win, and yeah, look forward to hopefully see you the rest of the season. And I say it's obviously a great way to kick this one off, man. So go enjoy it, and then look forward to seeing you next week, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Boomer, that is our race winner in that number 6 truck. And I mean, we talked about it from the get-go. I mean, these guys are going to be going to be tough to contend with. And like I said, I mean, there's some bigger names, bigger faces, and returning names and faces, and it's going to be a tough one, I think, to be able to do what they can to try to win these this season. So it's going to be fun, though, to see everybody. I mean, we talked about from the get-go that everybody's got to step their game up, and I think it's going to be the same thing, even that little more so now. But I'm excited to see what everybody is able to do with it, and I think it's going to be a really fun season.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, I think, a really great season opener. It is cool to see, like we mentioned, how stable these trucks do seem, albeit obviously some overheating concerns. But I mean, look at that run to the finish there, was absolutely beautiful. And we had some really great 3-wide action. So definitely, I think a lot to be excited here on now Friday nights. 14 race season, a lot of returning names, some new faces. It's good to see what was a very competitive field here tonight, and some really, really great racing here at Talladega.
Yeah, no, it's as in we're back in full swing. Boomer, I say we're back tonight. Obviously, we'll be returning on Sunday night. We'll be with the Xfinity cars this upcoming season. So kind of going back to what was known, and kind of not wanting to rock the boat too much, and try something brand new in case there's big changes that have to happen at some point. So Xfinity cars on Sundays. And then the IndyCars IR18s are back. A big refresh on those in iRacing this past Tuesday. So we've got a great crew coming in over there. And all 3 series are going to be 14 race seasons. And obviously, like we mentioned on the Super Speedway side, it's going to be 10 regular season, 4 playoff races, and 2 drop weeks for the regular season as well. So basically, if someone has to miss a race or just has a couple bad races, that could throw them right back into the thick of things. So that's going to be fun as well to see how it all kind of pans out over the course of the season, Boomer. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you hopping on short notice. I'd say definitely, obviously, hate Brandon not being able to make this one with the storms, but luckily everything's okay. Just some power gone for a little bit, but hopefully he'll be back in full force on Sunday night, Boomer. And yeah, like I said, I really, really appreciate everything that you do and have done for us over here at Green White Checkered. Big thank you to everybody over in Area 51 for putting up with us all season long. It's a lot of fun doing these. But that's it for us tonight. Hope you all have a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. I say no more happy Friday Eve, Friday Eves, but happy Friday the 13th. Hopefully everybody stays safe. But of course, until next time, as always, take care, stay safe, have a good night. We'll see you all Sunday.